Okay, so we're going to carry on looking at the basics now, and we're going to look at selection. I've got two rectangles here that I've created in my previous chapter. If you don't have those, it's literally just left click this rectangle command here, left click on the screen once and twice to drop it, and just put a couple of rectangles. Don't worry about size, don't worry about anything, it's just visual, just a couple of rectangles, okay? And now with our mouse we're going to look at selecting items. So with the left mouse button, it's as easy as just clicking an object, and you can click as many objects as you want and it will carry on selecting them, okay? And I'm just going to go to this copy. I'm going to left click that and I'm going to select both of them, okay? And then I'm going to right click and then I'm going to left click again for a base point. Don't worry about whether this sounds confusing, because we're going to look at, this is kind of modifying, we're going to look at in more detail. I just want things on the screen just to work with, okay? So all I did was copy it and then select them. In fact, I'll do that again just so you've got the same thing. So it's copy, left click, right click, which is enter. Left click, a base point just means when it asks specify base point, it just means where should I grab this from, okay? And if you don't have this piece of text and these boxes next to your cursor, it's F12, press F12 on the keyboard. And you'll see what it's asking for next in the command. So it's saying specify base point. It just means where should I grab this from before I copy it. And it can be anywhere. You just click in the space there and just left click, and it'll keep dropping copies of these, okay, until you right click to end the command. So again, that's something we're going to look at more in another chapter. We just want this on screen. So in terms of selection, we can left click an object and we can carry on left clicking. And you'll see in your cursor you've got a small square in the middle of the two lines, in the middle of a crosshair. That's a pick box. So you put that little box over an object and you can carry on selecting. If you've selected something, and actually I didn't want these two, you can hold down Shift and you can select things that you want to unselect, maybe that one as well, okay? And that's how you select things. And we don't actually have a command active at the moment, so I'm just selecting them just to show you, okay? But so that's how you select items, okay? And what you do with those items when you've selected them, well, that will be a command which we'll look at later. But for now, it's just how we actually select these items, and it's as simple as left clicking. So Shift, left click, as we've seen, unselects them, okay? Now, if you do have a lot of objects, and in a more advanced drawings, when you start using it, you'll have way more objects than this. It can be a bit tedious to click things. It could also be, if you've got overlapping objects, it can be hard to select one object and not select others. So if you're doing multiple selections, you can use a window select. And to do that, it's left button again, you just click outside. So if we go to the top left of these objects and just click anywhere in the blank space, and we left click once, you'll see now we have a crosshair, our pick box has gone, and as we move our mouse, it's dragging a window. It looks like when we drew the rectangle, but what it's doing, it's drawing a window. And if we put this window over these four here, and left click again, it has selected them. So that's a window select. So again, if I press escape to undo that, just click outside here, maybe it's these ones we wanted, okay? You can do a window select. Now you might have noticed what happened there. I'll show you that again. I've drawn a window completely around this object, completely around that object, completely around this object, but these two, kind of this one and this one, I've only half gone over it, and when I left click it doesn't select them, okay? So this is all to do with how I created that window. Again, I click out here, I'm going from the left to the right, and when you draw a window, a selection window from left to right, it will only select the objects you've fully enclosed. So anything you're only partially over, it won't select them, okay? If you do the window in the opposite direction, so we're going to move from right to left, We fully enclose these and we just touch on these two, and it can be just touching it a little bit, okay, like that. You'll see it selects them, and it's even selected this. We must have touched that. So left to right, a selection window needs to enclose a whole object. Right to left, it only needs to touch it. And that comes in handy when you've got a very busy drawing, and sometimes you do want to just specify which object. Sometimes it's easier to just touch an object. Sometimes you only want things you're going to go over. There's different times when you will use the different windows. It will make much more sense later on when you start doing more complex drawings. But for now, just bear in mind that is the difference in window selection. Okay, you can either enclose it fully or just touch it, and you'll use them in different times. So that's basically it for selections at the moment. We've got our window selects. We know we can left click, okay, and shift select will unselect objects. So that's the main selection roundup. In the next chapter, we'll start looking at actually creating some of these basic shapes in more detail.